Let me start by saying this. Since some of my videos have been flagged, I have to be careful how I say things. Because it's not just people who don't want to hear the truth anymore. They've trained the bots not to like it either. But history is history, and if they won't teach it, we will. Today, I'm telling you about Slocum, Texas, a town where success turned to slaughter and silence followed. Before 1910, Slocum was a small but thriving black community in East Texas. Black families owned land, built businesses, and lived the so called American dream. But that dream was too much for some people to handle. Tensions were already high after a black man was lynched in nearby Cherokee County. Then two separate incidents stirred that tension into rage. First, a black man was appointed to a leadership role in a road construction project. That meant he had authority, a voice, and for white folks in that area, that alone was a problem. And then, a white man had a debt dispute with a well known black resident. This disagreement involved Jim Spurger, a local white farmer, who claimed black people had threatened him. And here's where the history hits close to home, because we know how quickly things go downhill when a white person says they feel unsafe. All it takes is a phone call, or in 1910, a rumor, and just like that, the silence starts. Spurger's lie was enough to set it off. On July 29, 1910, heavily armed white mobs flooded into Slocum. Reports say up to 200 white men roamed the area in groups, shooting at black residents on sight. Men, women, and children were hunted through the streets, chased into the woods, and, you know, it was open season on black life, plain and simple. The official death toll, somewhere between 8 and 22, but survivors and black residents say the real number was at least 40 and possibly over 200. Even Anderson County's own sheriff, William H. Black, admitted to the New York Times it was hard to know how many died because black bodies were scattered all over the woods. He said men were going about killing Negroes as fast as they could find them. These Negroes have done no wrong that I can discover. I don't know how many were in the mob, but they may have been 200 and 300, and they hunted the Negroes down like sheep. Black families who survived didn't just grieve, they ran. They left behind homes, stores, farms, everything they worked for, and the white residents took it. One man, Jack Holly, had once been enslaved. After freedom, he built a life. He owned a dairy, a general store, and over 700 acres of land. But after the massacre, he and his family fled for their lives, and that land seized. This is what people don't understand when we talk about reparations. It's not just about slavery, it's about everything that happened after slavery. When we built, we owned, we succeeded, and it was taken by mobs, by silence, by force. Almost every resident in Slocum was subpoenaed to testify against the attackers, and if they didn't show up, they were arrested. 16 white men were arrested. Jim Spurger and 6 others were indicted on 22 counts of murder, but then the trial got moved to Harris County, and the charges were dropped. No one was ever prosecuted, not one. Slocum never recovered. The thriving black town vanished, and while nearby towns still have black populations over 20%, Slocum's less than 10%. In 2016, a century later, a historical marker was finally placed. But the marker is small, quiet, almost like they still want to keep it hidden. The lies that sparked the horror, they said black folks were planning something, but there was no uprising. The only uprising came from white mobs. That's what happened in Slocum. That's what happened in Tulsa, in Rosewood, in Wilmington, in St. Bernard Parish. It's a pattern, a blueprint. And if we don't remember these stories, they win. But we don't forget. Not on my watch. Every time a life
1866,
come in a
Memphis
sheriff,
witnessed a tragic massacre.
alive.
Today, you can walk through these
Subscribe
streets
to
and
a
feel the
show
weight
that
of
you
history.
don't like, and I hope the bots do not think I am condoning or celebrating violence because I am not. I'm only telling history. Peace.